Bitter criticism. Just reading the news. Well, people is saying, you know what people is saying? People are saying Iran is not attacking Israel to make them nervous war. It's a nervous war, understand? They are driving Israel crazy. Maybe it's true, you know. And people from PCO in Brazil, they said, Pepe Escobar said, they can sleep. In Israel, people cannot sleep, you know. I didn't consider that, but that's true. In Israel, people cannot sleep because anytime they will get bombed. They will get bombed anytime. So how to sleep in that situation? Huh? So bad, isn't it? Such a bad situation. So Al Jazeera, but you know, I guess my first take is maybe it's true, maybe it's also true. Iran doesn't want to fight because they depend on SWIFT system. That's my card, you know, that's my bet. I bet on SWIFT system. People respect just too much the SWIFT system. Well, Al Jazeera now. Israeli forces kill 5 people in West Bank. Gaza death toll nears 40,000. Near 40,000, yeah. So 5 more killed. 5 more Palestinian martyrs. I'm pretty sure that they are old ladies and young women and babies and childs and women. So first I'm going to read the Israel dossier, the daily dossier. Israel's war on Gaza live. 5 killed in West Bank as Gaza toll nears 40%. There's a video, maybe you can see, but last time I click on the stream. Last time I clicked on the stream, that was just streaming alive. This video may contain live patterns or images that could trigger seizure or cause discomfort for people with visual sensitivities. So, Israel's war on Gaza live. 5 killed in West Bank as Gaza toll nears 40%. 40,000 Palestinians dead. This news is by Usain Siddiqui. August 14, 2024. At least 36 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks yesterday, while another 20 killed this morning. So, yeah, some time ago I was saying that Brazil is too violent, and there's just killings every day in Brazil. But I guess by this time Palestinians, they are the champions. Yeah, Palestinians the champion martyr. Yeah, if being a martyr is something good, I don't think so, isn't it? So how to say it, the martyr championship. Martyrization championship, Palestinians just winning this year. 5 people were killed by Israeli security forces in the occupied West Bank's Tubas governorate. What? Governorate. This morning during Israeli raids, including 4 who were killed by a drone strike on the town of Tamun. 3 minutes ago. Israeli group says Netanyahu not upholding status quo in Al-Aqsa compound. Iramin, a Jerusalem-focused Israeli rights group, has called Netanyahu's statement on a breach of the status quo at Al-Aqsa Mosque compound no more than empty words. Just a second, really short. So just 1 second. Status quo at Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, no more than empty words. The group said Netanyahu's statement, which was in lieu of effective action, serves to further undermine the status quo. We reported that yesterday groups of Israelis, including cabinet ministers, stormed the compound to perform Jewish prayer and other forms of worship throughout the holy compound. In parallel, police imposed severe collective restrictions on Muslim access to Al-Aqsa, preventing many from conducting the noon prayer. Well, Al-Aqsa is not Alexia, but Al-Aqsa, understand? I'm going to show you. Al-Aqsa. If you saw Al-Aqsa. So they are not. Yeah, for me it's pretty fair, because with all this war, the last thing you should do is praying. I mean, I never pray, and I'm fine without praying. Just 1 second again. Well, sorry, but yeah, this is the dossier, the Al Jazeera's dossier about Israel. 14 minutes ago, start point for ceasefire talks still not known. Mai Hanna, reporting from Washington D.C. The U.S. State Department had no specifics at all about tomorrow's Doha talks. Its spokesperson kept referring to Qatari partner or the Israeli partner. The State Department itself is not coming out with any specific ideas about the next 24 hours are going to bring. We know that Blinken will not be traveling. He has been on the phone throughout the course of the morning, speaking to various parties. We do know that the CIA director will be there, but the specifics of what will be talked about, apart from a broad generic ceasefire, we simply do not know. So yeah, they are talking about a ceasefire, but 24 minutes ago, Al Jazeera, Iran says it is not involved in Gaza ceasefire talks. Iran is not considering sending representatives to the upcoming talks in Qatar for the ceasefire in Gaza. Iran's mission to the UN told the AP in a statement, quote, "We have not engaged in the indirect ceasefire negotiations between Hamas and the regime, facilitated by Egypt, Qatar, and the US, and hold no intention for involvement in such negotiations." End of quote. The statement comes as the US pushes for a ceasefire in the hopes that such a deal will prevent Iran and its allies from launching retaliatory attacks against Israel following the assassination of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran and Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr in Beirut from the Lebanese side. Anyway, so and now let's see what's happening in Ukraine with Russia today. So nothing is happening actually. Well, Palestinians are dying. Palestinians die all day long, which is sad. But I will repeat my question. You know what I really think? I had another idea about what happened with people. Like people need capitalism or this system. I was listening a podcast from Brazil. There were people saying that people hate capitalism, but they don't know. This is Marxist literature. Like, people hate capitalism, but they don't know. People just survive, understand? I guess psychologically, I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm not. But people in general, people tend to relax, you know? People tend to assume whatever bad news are going in the world, you know? People just keep going, you know? People just keep walking. That's natural. I mean, myself, I record this video, I read this news, I read Al Jazeera, I'm reading daily the Al Jazeera dossier about Palestinians martyrs, Palestinian victims. The question is, it's not part of my life, you know. I just have dogs. This dog is not mine. I'm just taking care of him, and that's it. That's my life. Dogs, you know. Zero bullets. Sometimes I hear bullets from the drug war, you know. Sometimes I hear some bullets, but that's it, you know. I never. Right here in Chile is pretty. Here in Chile it's very strange to see a corpse, you know. Sometimes happens. Sometimes here in Chile there's a corpse, but there's not much violence. So in order to think about Palestine, you have to expend energy, you know. You have to stop, read the news, and keep going, you know. Other than that, it's not part of your life. Sometimes you even see Arab refugees right here in Chile. So what that says, that, well, Chile is safer. Chile is safer than the Arab world in general, you know. And well, that's it. And people just don't think about about Zionism, about apartheid, you know. And well, that shows us that there's more easy lands, easy countries to live in, you know, to survive, like Chile, for example. My own life, I have a lot of details about how Brazil is better than Chile. A lot of details. But also there's better things in Chile too, you know, better than Brazil. Like like I said, the violence question, the assassinations, you know, back in Brazil, there's more. But Palestine is a special case by this in 2024, you know, in 2023 too. This year, you know, it's been a year, but I mean, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if Palestine is more violent than Brazil. But there you go, there you have. And people in the world, people just want to enjoy, you know. People just want to enjoy it and not think about those problems. Well, and as I'm aging, I'm also thinking about if any religious people are coming after your land. They want to take your land off, you know. They want to take your land from you. You just go away, you know. That's at least that's what I think, or at least is what my ancestors did. Going away from Italy. Maybe I will go to Italy. I will go back to Italy and say, yay, my ancestors were wrong about South America. Yeah, maybe that will happen, you know. I will tell you, maybe my ancestors were wrong. Yeah, South America is not easy, you know. South America is colonial, is colonized and neo-colonized. So hard. Anyway, that's South America, that's Latin America, so hard. But nevertheless, I think for these Palestinian people, they are dying. Today 5 killed, yesterday 30 killed, 40,000 in total. All these dead people, they will be better in Colombia, for example. Colombia, such a great land, but bad history, you know. Definitely bad history, but a great land nevertheless. I always think about agriculture. What about agriculture in Palestine? Maybe just olive, you know. Maybe just olive. Of course, Middle East, subterranean land. Middle East mineral resources, oil is rich, is great, but the land is kind of dry, you know. It's desert. It's kind of desert. You cannot have much about from this land. You cannot make a lot of agriculture, understand? So a country like Colombia, for example, Colombia, definitely you can grow anything. In life is cheaper. Colombia is one of the cheap to eat, you know. Alimentation, food in Colombia is one of the countries more cheaper in the world. So, and maybe they will accept 40,000 Palestinians. So my opinion, if this capitalism religion, the Zionist people come after your land, you better go away, you know. You go away, just like my ancestors. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know if Zionism, it was behind the Italian wars, the Italian unification. Maybe, you know. That's an interesting question. The Zionist origin of all wars. There's a point there. Anyway, so Russia Today. What's happening in Kursk region? Ukraine will bitterly regret Kursk attacked Moscow. Bitter criticism. Woo! This is an homage to me. Yeah. I'm stick with you, Russia Today. I'm stick with you. I want to marry Filonenko, former swimming top model of Instagram, Instagram Russian model. I will give Vladimir Putin and Filonenko 3 kids, 3 babies. What about that? Sometimes Vladimir Putin says he want Russians to give him babies. So, Russia Today, August 14, 2024, Home World News. Ukraine will bitterly regret Kursk's attack Moscow. Kiev deserves nothing but defeat and unconditional surrender, Russia's deputy UN envoy has said. We have an abandoned Ukrainian armored vehicle in Russia's Kursk region. Yeah. This armored vehicle is defeated, absolutely defeated in the jungle. That's it. Ukraine's incursion into Russia's Kursk region is a fatal mistake that Kiev will regret bitterly. Moscow's first deputy permanent representative to the UN, Dmitry Polyansky, has warned. On August 6, Ukrainian forces launched their largest attack on Russian territory since the outbreak of the conflict in February 2022. The advance of Kiev's troops was swiftly halted by Russian forces, but they remain in control of several settlements in Kursk region. According to the local governor, at least 12 civilians have been killed and another 121 wounded as a result of the incursion, with more than 120,000 residents forced to evacuate. Commenting on Kiev's offensive during a meeting at the UN headquarters in New York on Tuesday, Polyansky said that undoubtedly, this is a move that Ukraine will bitterly regret, as its last traded military reserves are being eliminated. That Ukraine will bitterly regret, as its last traded military reserves are being eliminated there as we speak. So yeah, this is the very last army. That's what Polyansky is saying. This is the last army. This is the last Ukrainian army. There's no more. This is over. This is over. Ukraine is over now. I mean, Ukraine had 0 chances, but by now there's no more army. No more army for Ukraine. The envoy noted that in June, Russia made a very made a very generous negotiation proposal to Ukraine, given its desperate situation on the front line, but said the incursion into the Kursk region has shown that the Zelensky regime choose escalation and war over dialogue. We have another news, but later. Back then, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Moscow was ready to immediately open peace talks with Kiev if it were to withdraw its troops from the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics and the Kherson and Zaporizhia regions, which officially became part of the Russian state in the fall of 2022. According to Putin, Ukraine should have also committed to maintaining a neutral status, demilitarization and denazification as part of a possible deal. However, Vladimir Zelensky instantly rejected the offer, calling it an unacceptable ultimatum. Polyansky criticized the US and its allies for trying to justify Kiev's incursion into Kursk region, asking the West for an explanation how intentionally targeting civilians serves the goal of disrupting attacks on Ukrainian territory by Russia, given the fact that there were no military objects or infrastructure in the area. Those who thought that this barbaric attack will will sow discord among Russians and scare them turned out to be completely wrong, he said. This criminal act has only consolidated our society and showed the true colors of our enemy, who deserves nothing but a complete defeat and unconditional capitulation, the envoy stressed. Russia's defense ministry said on Wednesday that since the start of its incursion, the Ukrainian forces have lost up to 2,300 troops and hundreds of pieces of military equipment, including 37 tanks, 32 armored personnel carriers, and 18 infantry fighting vehicles. And there's a lot of videos on Russia Today showing how, I was impressed about this headquarters there. I don't remember exactly the name, but Ukraine, they build houses, they build like a headquarters in the Kursk region. Or Ukraine, I'm not sure, but there was a complete camp, a complete Ukrainian camp. That's a lot, that's a lot of progress, but by now this is all destroyed. Go Putin! Go Russia! There's no Ukrainians here. No, there's Ukrainians here actually. In this country, Chile, there's a Ukrainian beautiful girl. There's a Ukrainian blonde beautiful girl. And I saw Russians too. So nobody likes war, Nobody likes war. And well, August 14, 2024, home Russia and former Soviet Union. UN must recognize Ukrainian terrorism in Kursk, Moscow. The Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman was called on the international body to respond to Kiev's cross-border incursion. We have a photograph of Maria Zakharova with a curly hair, beautiful. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, a curly lady. The United Nations must recognize the Ukrainian incursion into Russia's Kursk region as a blatant act of terrorism. Moscow's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova has said. She also expressed hope that the international body will fully assess the destruction caused by Kiev's forces on Russian territory. Ukrainian forces launched a cross-border attack into Kursk region on the morning of August 6, occupying several border villages. The Russian government has declared a state of emergency in the area and has launched a counter-terrorism operation in response. According to acting Kursk governor Alexei Smirnov, at least 12 civilians have been killed and another 121 wounded, including 10 children, as a result of the incursion. In addition, more than 120 residents have been forced to leave their homes. So sad. Speaking to Sputnik Radio on Wednesday, Zakharova urged the UN to clearly define Ukraine's aggression to not merely as a human rights violation, but rather terrorism against civilians on the part of the Kiev regime. There's another read more. This is the first time I saw a lot of sense. All these related articles made a lot of sense now, because I want to know about the Kursk region. About the end of the war. Read more. UN warns Ukraine over attacks on Russian civilian targets. Yeah, definitely. That's everybody should recognize. Russia is not attacking civilians. Ukraine is attacking civilians. Everybody knows that. From Chile, Ukraine is attacking civilians. Anyway, quote, terrorist threats, actions, attacks, that's a whole different legal qualification. These two definitions should not be conflated, the diplomat stressed. commenting on recent remarks by the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights OHCHR about a possible mission to Kursk, Zakharova said, quote, "I want to hope that what UN representative stated is not a stunt or an attempt to wash their hands of the humanitarian situation." The crazy dog is want to die. No, he's going to the truck line. No, he's not. Anyway, the foreign ministry spokeswoman suggests that if the UN reaches a belated understanding of the true nature of Ukraine's actions in Kursk, it should also assess human rights violations perpetrated by Kiev against Russian civilians in Crimea and the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics. OHCHR spokeswoman Ravina Shamdasani said on Tuesday that the international body has requested access to Russian territory as UN personnel are trying to gather information about the situation in Kursk region. The OHCHR has acknowledged that at least 4 Russian civilians have been killed as a result of what it termed a Ukrainian military operation in a Telegram post on Sunday. Russian human rights Ombudswoman Tatiana Moskalkova revealed that she had asked the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, to formally condemn the terrorism part of Ukraine. Moscow has characterized Kiev's incursion into Kursk as a large-scale provocation, accusing Ukrainian troops of indiscriminate attacks on civilians and civilian infrastructure. Well, so more 15 minutes. It's been great. So I'm going to read the next one. Read more. UN warns Ukraine over attacks on Russian civilian targets. But this is from this is very old. It is from the last year. It's like 1 year ago. 1 year ago. Listen. 1 year ago. August 24, 2023. Home, Russia and former Soviet Union. UN warns Ukraine over attacks on Russian civilian targets. Kiev's use of drones against Moscow and border regions was raised at the Security Council. The UN is concerned about shelling and drone attacks on Russian civilians, which contravene international law. Under Secretary General Rosemary DiCarlo told the Security Council on Thursday, Ukraine has ramped up artillery attacks on the Russian regions of Donetsk, Kursk, and Belgorod over the past 3 months. As its much heralded offensive on the Zaporizhzhia front failed to make any significant advances. The chilling frequently employs U.S. supply cluster munitions banned by most EU member states. Kiev has also ramped up attempts to target Moscow's financial district with drones. The UAVs that managed to slip past the Russian capital's air defenses have caused minor property damage, but so far no casualties. Quote, we are also concerned about the possible impact on civilians of the shelling of Russian border communities and drone attacks deep inside Russia, including Moscow, said Di Carlo, an American diplomat overseeing political and peace-building affairs since 2018. Quote, attacks against civilians and civilian infrastructure wherever they may occur are indefensible and strictly prohibited under international law, she added. Oh, there's a beautiful journalist. Oh, she's died. A beautiful dead journalist from Russia. Di Carlo made the remarks as an aside to the speech focusing on condemning Russia's full-scale invasion and expressing the UN's unwavering commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity within its internationally recognized borders. Russia's ambassador to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, told the Security Council that the Ukraine conflict was a proxy war against Moscow planned at least since 2014 by Washington, London, and Brussels, who are not at all interested in stopping it. Quote, we will not be where we are if the Kiev regime had not launched a war in 2014 against its own Russian-speaking citizens in the east of the country, and failed to comply with the UN-approved Minsk agreements, which their authors admitted were a ploy to prepare Ukraine for war, Nebenzia insisted. Well, the dog is almost dying there. He's under danger because of the trucks. But I'm going to see this beautiful journalist, maybe Ukrainian, maybe Russian. This is from August 21. They killed Daria Dugina, the daughter. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, she was beautiful. So sorry. She's, I don't remember now, Alexander Dugin maybe. August 21, 2023, Donetsk Street named after murdered journalist Daria Dugina, the daughter of prominent Russian philosopher, was killed in a Ukrainian terrorist attack last year. So she was very beautiful. If you are like just Daria Dugina, call me. Comment down below. I will marry you. Just like that. She was beautiful. So sad. Anyway, so in the end, let's watch Cgtn just to check if Taiwan is there. If Taiwan is not troubling Taiwan, I guess it's more likely not being war in Taiwan, I guess. She calls on environmental volunteers to promote water conservation, China-Indonesia dialogue. This is more interesting, look. This is more interesting. I lost the dogs. Oh, I lost the dogs. Pray for the dogs. Anyway, Cgtn poll over 87% respondents criticize EU trade protectionism. 2 minute readings as short news from Cgtn. I guess the Chinese people are the better in the world, but some Russian women are so beautiful. Vehicles are being loaded onto ships at the Nansha Automobile Terminal, Guangzhou City, South China's Guangdong Province, July 2nd. China has appealed to the World Trade Organization over the European Union's EU provisional countervailing measures on Chinese electric vehicles, EVs, aiming to protect the rights and interests of its EV industry and foster global green transformation cooperation. A global online survey conducted by Cgtn revealed that 87.5% of respondents believe the EU's protectionist measures will exacerbate trade disputes and negatively impact the global automotive industry. Yeah, in EU, yeah, I'm Italian, but you know, I'm pretty depressed. You know, my integrity, my identity is pretty damaged because I'm Chilean and Italian. So the EU is super stupid. You know, look what they are doing. They believe 87.5% of respondents believe the EU's protectionist measures will exacerbate trade disputes and negatively impact the global automotive industry. And, in my opinion, everything impact negatively on their own, on its own, on Europe itself. Anyway, the survey highlights that the EU's imposition of high tariffs on Chinese EVs under the guise of countervailing measures is seen as a form of trade protectionism. Critics argue that the EU focuses on unilateral benefits while ignoring the comparative advantages of Chinese EVs, many of which are produced through China-EU joint ventures. This approach is predicted to backfire, harming the EU's own interests. The survey found that 78.42% of respondents identify full market competition and rapid technological innovation rather than government subsidies as the primary drivers of China's EV industry growth. Additionally, 85.40% believe the high tariffs will ultimately burden European consumers, and 80.74% think the tariffs will severely weaken the competitiveness of the European automotive industry and undermine China-EU automotive cooperation. As global climate challenges intensify, EVs have become crucial for countries aiming to achieve low-carbon development goals. The survey indicates strong support for China's efforts in this area, with 87.96% of respondents praising China for its vigorous development of new energy industries, including EVs, and its significant contributions to the global economy and green development. Conversely, 82.96% criticized the EU for using protectionism to bin the EV industry, arguing that it undermines collective efforts to address climate change. The survey also underscores the importance of collaboration between China and the EU, and an overwhelming 92.53% of respondents emphasized that the common interests between China and Europe far outweigh their differences, and strengthening cooperation is crucial to solving problems. Furthermore, 90.84% call for China and the EU to resolve trade frictions through dialogue and consultation, advocating for a cooperative rather than protectionist approach to become stabilizing forces for global economic development and climate governance. The Cgtn survey, available in English, Spanish, French, Arabic, and Russian, gathered the views of 12,032 netizens within 24 hours, reflecting widespread concern and opposition to the EU's trade protectionism measures. And that's it. It's time for Daniel Hadwe. But as the dogs are lost, I'm going to search for the dogs. And well, actually I want to see if there's some problems in Taiwan, but I guess there's nothing wrong in Taiwan. Oh no, look, politics. 17 hours ago, China revises regulation on military personnel. So China is paying an eye to the world politics. China revises regulations on military personnel subsidies, benefits. They are taking money from the military, I guess, or giving money. I'm going to run now. Soldiers are seen at the celebration. China State Council and the Central Military Commission have jointly issued revised regulations on subsidies and benefits for military service members, effective October 1st. The revisions are intended to ensure that military personnel receive the subsidies and preferential treatment they are entitled to inspire them to make dedicated efforts in defending and building the country, and to further modernize China's nation, defense, and armed forces. So they are giving more money to the military. So that's great. The revised regulations emphasize that preferential treatment for military service members should be commensurate with their contributions. They refine the mechanism for dynamically adjusting subsidy and benefit standards to align with the country's socio-economic development and efforts to strengthen national defense. The regulations specify the scope and details of subsidies and benefits for service members, including the management responsibilities of relevant departments and the financial obligations of central and local authorities. They also outline measures to streamline and optimize the procedures for promoving these subsidies and benefits. The latest issuance of the third revision of regulations on subsidies and benefits for military service members, originally promulgated in 2004. From Xinhua News. Well, China is in peace, but they are preparing for war to maintain the peace. But I will say that war everywhere but China.